Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Today we'll be discussing about the drug discovery topic. So let's begin the lecture. As we know, in the fields of medicine, biotechnology and pharmacology, drug discovery is the process by which new candidate medications are discovered. So, the drug discovery process is the fundamental source of active principles, that is, compounds which interact as agonist or antagonist, functionally or structurally, with constituents of living organisms. Drug arises from either natural sources with an almost infinite variety of molecular structures or are designed with the target effect or molecules in mind, that is using the quaternary structure activity relationship QSAR. As we know, in ancient time, most of the drugs used in the treatment of diseases were generally derived from the naturally occurring substances of plant origin. For example, opium from poppy, quinine from the cinchona, and digitalis from foxgloves. Presently, the majority of new therapeutics agents are synthetic in nature. So, drug discovery and development is a very complex and time consuming and costly process which carries a commercial risk. Drug discovery and development is broadly divided into three main components, that is your drug discovery, and then your preclinical evaluation, and last one is your clinical trials. So, modern drug discovery involves the firstly identification of screening hits and the medicinal chemistry, and then optimizing of those hits to increase the affinity and obviously its selectivity in order to reduce the potential of the side effects, and moreover you can say efficacy and potency and metabolic stability in order to increase the half life either for the drug and for the life, and oral bioavailability. So once a compound that is to be discovered that fulfills all these requirements has been identified, the process of drug development can continue, and if successful in the research, then it goes for the clinical trials and for the further development. So let me remind you that before discovery, there is a requirement of pre-discovery. So in pre-discovery, suppose making any medicine, before going through any research, first we have to understand what is the disease, what is the body type. These are the terms that should be considered before developing or going through any drug discovery. So let's come to the next topic as the procedure for drug discovery. Drug discovery has so many steps, that is, first is your random screening, then your molecular manipulation and molecular designing, metabolites of the drug, and serendipity. So random screening, in this screening, what happens in this process, new chemical entities are subjected to a battery of screening test design to determine different types of biological activity, and such test includes studies on animal behavior and isolated tissues, intact animals, and sometimes even an animal model of the disease. So such studies are time consuming as well as they are very expensive and have a low yield. It is possible that new drug thus found maybe ultimately turns out to be similar in extraction to already existing drug with no added advantages. Next procedure is your molecular manipulation. What happens in this procedure? Analogs of existing drugs are synthesized and they go for the testing for their various biological activity, and then this is we can say this is more logical approach and may yield new compounds with certain advantage like better absorption, greater potential, and more selective. They can have more selective action and also can have fewer side effects. Next, third is your molecular designing procedure. So this is the most rational form of drug in research and development field. It ends at designing of substances to fulfill of a specific biological task. In its simplest form, this may involve the synthesis of naturally occurring substances. We can say take it as a hormone or a vitamin or a precursor of a neurotransmitter. For example, this let's talk about the dopamine for cardiogenic shock, levodopa for Parkinsonism. So these are the examples for we can also go for the drug discovery through molecular designing method also. Next is your the metabolites of the drug. Sometimes what happen, active metabolites of the drugs are found to possess the therapeutic advantages over the parent compounds. For example, paracetamol is metabolite of phenylacetin, and it is effective in as an analgesic but does not cause any renal damage. Next is serendipity. It means happy observation by chance and has led to introduction of many remedies in the past. For example, the use of organomeres crucials for cardiac edema, penicillin as an antibacterial agent. So these are the ways through which we can go for the drug discovery. Next is your the drug development. So drug development is the entire process of taking a newly discovered compound or drug through regulatory approval to the point of marketing. So before moving towards a drug discovery, I have told you that we have to keep in mind about the pre-discovery. So pre-discovery involves, first we have to understand what is the disease, what type of disease. We should know each and everything about the particular disease or for which we are making the drug. So it is important to know the underlying cause of the disease, and we have to try to understand how genes are altered and how they affect the proteins they encode, and how the body is wholly affected by that disease. And we also have to pre-discover for how proteins interact with each other in the living cell, and how those affected cells change the specific tissue they are in, and how they are affecting the specific environment in that tissue in which they are present. So before developing any drug, we have to firstly understand the about the points of a disease, completely about the disease. We should know each and everything about the disease, then only we would be able to make or go for any discovery of the drug, for any making of the drug discovery path. So during the development, the new drug or the compound should adhere to high standards in the conduct, analysis, as well as the interpretation of preclinical and clinical studies for its smooth passage through the regulatory approval phase and eventually to the marketing. Drug discovery begins in the laboratory with the scientists of various functional areas working together to identify cellular and genetic factor that plays a role in specific diseases. So here is a diagram showing the complete process of a drug discovery. So the first and initial step is your pre-discovery, and as I told you that before adhering towards the first step of pre-discovery, we have to go for pre-discovery. And in that pre-discovery, we should keep in mind to know each and everything about the disease on which we are going to act, on which we are going to for which we are going to make a medicine. So drug discovery in order have the following steps, that it contains the target selection, the lead finding, the lead optimization, and pharmacological profiling. Next enters you the second phase of the drug discovery, that is your preclinical development. And then the last one is your clinical development, which again has a four phase. And in clinical development, it is decided that is it safe for the humankind or not? Does it work properly, and does it work in double blind trials? And so it goes for the clinical development, and most of the possibilities are checked in clinical trials. So these are the entire process by which the particular drug is invented in pharmacogenesis. Next is your target selection, and it is the first step in the drug discovery development. So a target, let me tell you what is a target. A target is produced within the pharmaceutical industry. Generally, the target is naturally existing cellular or molecular structure involved in the pathology of interest, where the drug in development is meant to act. This is the particular organ, this is the particular, it could be cell or it could be tissue, or it could be particular the organ in which the drug has to show his action for a particular disease. So target selection in drug discovery is defined as the decision to focus on finding an agent with a particular biological action that is anticipated to have therapeutic utility. Target identification deals with to identify molecular target that are involved in disease progression. So in target identification, drugs usually act on either cellular or genetic chemicals in the body known as the target, which are believed to be associated with the disease. Scientists use a variety of techniques to identify and isolate the individual target to learn more about their functions and how they influence the disease. Compounds are then identified that have various interactions with the drug target and that might be helpful in treatment of a specific disease. Next is your the target validation or prioritization. To prove target validation is to prove that manipulating the molecular target can provide therapeutic benefit for patient. So to select targets most likely to be useful in the development of new treatment of the disease, researches analysis, and compare each drug target to other based on their association with the specific diseases and their ability to regulate the biological and chemical compounds in the body. And also there are various tests are conducted to confirm that interactions with the drug target are associated with the desired change in the behavior of disease cells. Research scientists can then identify the compounds that have an effect on the target selected. And then next comes your the lead identification. This is the second step in the drug discovery, and lead discovery is the identification of a small molecule modulator of a protein function and the process of transforming these into the high content of lead series. So lead compounds or substance is one that is believed to have a potential to treat disease. Laboratory scientists can compare known substances with new compounds to determine their likelihood of success. Lead can be sometimes developed as a collection of libraries of individual molecules that possess properties needed in a new drug. Testing is then done on each of these molecules to confirm its effect on the drug. So through high throughput screening, lead identification is done, and it refers to the process by which pharmaceutical companies are able to obtain initial screening data up to we can say 1 million compound testing against as many 50 different biological targets. And this expansion of data collection by several orders of magnitude is primarily due to the advances in the robotics. Screening of drug target against selected chemicals and identification of highly target specific compounds is done. Next is your the optimization. It is the overall next step of the after the lead identification, and optimization is the alter of the structure of the lead candidate to improve the properties, and it done to make it less likely to interact with the other chemical pathways in the body, thus reducing the potential for the side effect. So early safety test is also very important, and lead compounds go through a series of tests to provide an early assessment of the safety. And scientists test absorption, distribution, and metabolism, excretion, and toxicology properties or pharmacokinetics of each lead compound. So successful drug must be able to absorb into the bloodstream. It should be distributed to the proper site of action in the body and metabolized efficiently and effectively, and should be successfully excreted from the body too, and can be easily to demonstrated to be non-toxic. So analogs of the initial lead can be made and tested. The biologists test the effect of analogs on biological systems, and chemists take this information to make additional alterations that are then retested by the biologists. It helps the researchers to prioritize the lead compounds early in the discovery of the process, and to study perform in living cells and in animals and via computational models also. Next is your second phase of the drug discovery is your preclinical evaluation. So the preclinical evaluation is the main aim of this stage is, let me tell you in simple word, is to satisfy all the requirements that have to be met before a new compound is deemed ready to be tested for the first time in human. And the all the work should fall in four categories in the preclinical trials, that is your pharmacological testing, your preliminary toxicological testing, pharmacokinetics studies, that is your ADME studies, in which the studies is performed in living cells, animal cells, and via through computational models also, and your chemicals and pharmaceuticals assessment to assess the feasibility of the large scale synthesis and purification. So before testing a drug in people, researchers must find out whether it has the potential to cause serious harm, also called as toxicity. And the two types of clinical research are in vitro as well as in vivo. The FDA requires researchers to use good laboratory practices to define in medical product development regulations for preclinical laboratory studies. Usually, preclinical studies are not very large. However, these studies must provide detailed information on dosing and toxicity level. After preclinical testing, researchers review their findings and decide whether the drug should be tested in people or not. The experimental animals used for the preclinical testing includes your mice, rats, guinea pigs, dogs, and sometimes even the monkeys also. The three major areas of preclinical evaluation is your acute, subacute, and chronic toxicity studies, your therapeutic index, and third one is your absorption, distribution, as and elimination studies. So in preclinical, conversion of drug candidate to a drug product for human clinical trials is done. Lab and animal testing to determine if the drug is safe enough for the human testing or not, and testing the lead compound extensively to determine it they should move on testing in human or not, and they carry out in vitro as well as in vivo test. And scientists try to understand how the drug works and what its safety profiles will be look like. Next is your clinical evaluation, that is your third and last phase of for making any drug development. Preclinical data obtained from animal studies provides a general pharmacological, toxicological, and pharmacokinetics profile of a new drug. The new drug application in the prescribed format with all relevant literature and preclinical data must be submitted to Drug Control Authority for scrutiny and sanction obtained before the clinical evaluation studies are initiated. Clinical pharmacology deals with the effect of drug on body and the effect of body on drugs in the man, that is the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics studies in man. It has three distinct parts, that is your confirmatory pharmacology, your human biotransformation studies, and third one is your clinical trial. So it is a set of procedures in medical research and drug development to study the safety as well as the efficacy of the new drug and essentials to get marketing approval from the regulatory authorities and may require up to 7 years. Next is your the clinical trial, that is the third phase of this experiment on men. Here are some salient guidelines to design a perfect clinical trial. First, you should keep in mind about the ethics and patient selection, response measurement, and experimental design. Ethics and patient selection is the criteria for selection of the patient that should be well thought out and defined. Special care must be taken if more than one doctor is involved in the selection of a patient in the trial, especially in multicentric trials. Second is your response measurement. The endpoint should be clearly defined. Side effects should be carefully observed and well as recorded. Third is your experimental design. The design of trial should be preferably a biostatics should be consulted. In general, controlled clinical trials must include 4 safeguards against bias, that is your double blind technique, randomization of the treatment, matching of the patient, and crossover technique. Okay, here are the phases of the clinical trial. Generally, it has been described into 4 phases of the clinical trial. First is your clinical pharmacological evaluation. In this, the phase 1 are usually carried out on 20 to 50 healthy volunteers or patient, depending on the class of drug and its safety. These studies are mainly concerned with the human toxicity, tolerated doses range, pharmacological actions, and pharmacokinetics of the drug. The second phase is your controlled clinical evaluation. These studies are carried out on 50 to 300 patients, and these studies mainly aim to ascertain the safety and efficacy of the new drug and are strictly controlled. The third phase is your extended clinical evaluation. In this, these are formal therapeutic trials carried out in double-blind controlled manner in 250 to 100 patients, and efficacy and safety of the new drug is evaluated and even comparison with other drugs is undertaken. Last one is your phase 4, that is the surveillance during the post-marketing. After the drug release for general clinical use, certain unusual types of adverse reaction may be observed even after the years of the clinical uses, and thus an adverse reaction monitoring is carried out in the phase 4 evaluation. Thank you for being with us. I hope you have understood and gone through all the process and techniques and understand all the aspects for making a drug discovery and drug development process. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com, and you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and yes, do not forget to subscribe our channel ITLS Academy at YouTube. Thank you.